Hello, this is a range report on the Sig Sauer P220 Match Elite and 45 ACP. First, let's make sure the gun is safe. No magazine. Chamber is empty. Standard features on the gun has an adjustable rear sight, and the rear sight elevation and window screws do have indicators of up, down, left, and right. The gun comes with a single white dot on the front sight. Personally, I prefer 3 dots, 2 dots on the rear, 1 dot on the front. So I use Birchwood Casey's sight black and blackened out the white dot on the front sight. It has a decocking lever. As you can tell, it is both a double action as well as a single action. This gun has a short reset trigger. Now let's see how that works. After firing the gun, of course the slide will rack back, cock the hammer. Now listen closely as I ease up on the trigger. Did you hear that click? The trigger has been reset, and if I pull it, the hammer will drop. Let's do that again. Listen for the click. So it does not take a lot for the trigger to reset itself. It is a stainless steel frame with a stainless steel slide, slight beaver tail, and the grips are actually aluminum. It has texturing on the front strap, side panels, and back strap. It also has texturing on the front of the trigger guard. It has a tactical rail and the typical SIG takedown lever. The trigger has a smooth, rounded surface. And the gun comes with 2 8-round magazines. One thing I noticed is how far back the trigger goes. Let's look at that. Using the tip of my finger, I'm going to pull the trigger and watch how far back the trigger goes. You can tell that the trigger is going all the way back to the frame. Now typically, for me, as I pull a trigger, with the trigger going back this far, it's going to cause my finger to start rubbing up against the frame. So to prevent that, I had to change my trigger finger placement to prevent my finger from rubbing up against the frame. Let's take a look at a few other guns and see how far back their triggers go. In the upper left is the SIG P220. As you can see, the trigger goes all the way back to the frame, and this caused my finger to drag on the frame before the hammer fell. In the upper right is a 1911 Oslam 45 ACP. That trigger is as far back as it can go, and you can see there's plenty of space between finger and frame. Same thing with the bottom 2 guns, which are 9mm. Both triggers are as far back as they can go, and there's plenty of distance between finger and frame. According to the numbers, the weight without a magazine is slightly over 2.5 pounds. The barrel length is 5 inches. Using a Lyman trigger gauge, I measured that the double action trigger pull average is 10 pounds 7 ounces, and the single action trigger pull average is 5 pounds 13 ounces. Again, it comes with 2 magazines, each having an 8-round capacity. Let's look at disassembly and reassembly. For disassembly, first we make sure the gun is safe, and we've done that in the beginning of this video. Lock the slide back. You turn the takedown lever to the 6 o'clock position. Now, because this gun has a short reset trigger, as you move the slide forward, when the slide comes back to its natural position, you actually have to decock the hammer. So as it comes forward, decocking the hammer, and the slide comes off. We next remove the recoil rod and recoil spring. and then we remove barrel from slide. Reassembly is the reverse of disassembly. So barrel into slide. Now this gun came with a 20 to a 22 pound spring, and you can tell that one end is colored. The colored end goes onto the rod. And as we insert rod into slide, the end of the rod needs to go up against the flat part of the barrel lug. Let's take a close look at that. So recoil rod and spring go into slide, and we pull it forward. Make sure it's seated properly. Slide on frame, all the way back, lock it into place, raise the takedown lever, and check operation. I did 2 range tests of this gun, one on the indoor range and one on the outdoor range. First, the indoor range. As you can tell, the lighting is somewhat poor, and the range uses outside air to ventilate the inside of the range. Because this test was ran in the wintertime, it was cold inside the range. The ammunition I was using for the indoor range test was ammunition I reload myself, using a 200 grain polymer coated lead semi-wad cutter. The target was 25 yards away. I was standing, shooting one-handed, no support, no bench rest. I fired 60 shots, 6 were in the 8 ring, 17 were in the 9 ring, and 37 were in the 10 and X rings. The group size was 6.75 inches. What we're going to see next in the video is each shot at the indoor range. Now, one 5-shot sequence, the camera was not running, so you're going to see all 5 shots appear at once. But before that sequence and after that sequence, you're going to see each shot appear one at a time. Now, the rate at which the shots are shown in this video is not the pace at which I fired the gun. The rate is much faster than the pace at which I fired the gun. Also, this part of the video will be rather grainy, because my camera was back at the firing line. The target, which only has a 10-ring diameter of 3.3 inches, was 25 yards away. So while I was editing this video, I had to digitally enlarge this part of the video 800%. That's why the image is going to be rather grainy. So let's take a look. The next day I took the gun out to an outdoor range. It was sunny, the wind was light, and it was 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around 10 degrees centigrade. I used a different reload. This time I used a 185 grain jacketed hollow point. Again, the target was at 25 yards. I was standing, one-handed, no support, no bench rest. I fired a total of 20 shots, 1 in the 8 ring, 2 in the 9 ring, 12 in the 10 ring, 5 in the X ring. Total group size was 5.6 inches. Hopefully you can tell that this gun is very accurate, and I am personally quite pleased with its performance. I hope this video has been helpful to you, and thank you for watching.